Most people, they want to invest, but they have no idea where to get started. Some people think that it takes thousands of dollars to invest and they kind of get scared of that word. I'm here to tell you, $100 a week can change your financial future way more than you could even imagine. In this video, I'll show you investing $100 a week can be a great game plan to change your financial future. Most importantly, you don't have to be rich to do so. Now let's get it. Okay, first, why does $100 a week even work? $100 a week, it may sound like a small amount of money, but over time, it actually adds up to be a lot. Let's do some simple math here. $100 a week times 52 weeks in a year gives you $5,200 a year invested. That's a lot of money. You care about $5,200. Now think about that $5,200 invested at an average interest rate of 8%. Well, then now you're going to be talking about over 10 years, possibly $75,000 or more. Now remember, over that 10 years, you just invested $52,000, $75,000 or more, okay? And that's at 8%. What if you do 8% at 20 years? Well, now we're talking over $240,000 or more. Guys, this is a lot of money, and this is just small incremental steps towards your wealth. This won't be the only thing you're doing, but it's just something simple that you may think is small, but it's actually large on the grand scheme of things. I love to tell people this all the time. Small money consistently invested becomes big money over time. It's just that simple, okay? You keep throwing the small money in, think of it like a snowball. In order to get a big snowball, you have to add in little pieces of snow. It doesn't just happen all at once, right? But that compounding, that consistency on investing, that money becomes big. All right, so the first step you're going to want to do is choose where you're going to invest. That's simply what platform, all right? Now, there's different options out there. Fidelity, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, Edward Jones, you name it. But the point is, go ahead, open up your Roth IRA if you're eligible. And if not, then just open up a regular traditional brokerage account. But that's where you're going to begin investing. Think of this account as your tool, like your key to automation, right? You're going to transfer over $100 into this account automatically every single week. Now, secondly, you're going to choose what you're going to invest in. Now, I must start off this video by saying that I am not a financial advisor. Everything you see in these videos are for educational and entertainment purposes only. So if you are going to invest, make sure you're doing your own research and consulting a financial professional. At moments, you can lose money, and I'm sure at some time in life you will lose money while investing, okay? So you want to make sure that you are putting this money where you have done your own research. Now, when you're investing, you don't have to just go with just single stocks, right? There are things called ETFs. And ETFs are really simple, and they're just big baskets of stocks, right? Sometimes it can be the whole stock market. Sometimes it can be different sectors that you may be interested in. But this is an easy way to go set and forget, and you're not really having to worry about the stressors of, hey, is this going up or down, year by year? On the long trend, these are usually trending up, and they're really simple because they have a basket of stocks. So if one is doing bad, then you have others that are doing well that can make up for that one bad stock, okay? So for this example, I'll just keep it simple and use ETFs, right? We're investing $100 a week. $25 of it, we can go ahead and put that into VTI, all right? Now, all this is just the total US market. I believe there's over 4,000 different companies in this fund, okay? So that's gonna give you exposure to the whole US economy and how it's doing, all right? You can do another $25 into something like SCHD. Now, this is a great dividend paying portfolio, okay? This fund right here, it goes ahead and pays you out with great companies that go ahead and do dividend paying, okay? Now, all a dividend is just a reward for you holding that company. Literally, you've done nothing, but you bought shares in the company, so they're gonna pay you out. Sometimes it's, every quarter, sometimes it's, every year, whatever the case is, but you get payouts for this, okay? Now, next you can do QQQ. This is a great fund that has tech and innovation in it, right? So when you want exposure to tech, things such as maybe Microsoft, think of Google, think of Tesla, think of NVIDIA, AMD, things like that, right? These are going to be companies that are into this fund and that will go ahead and give you exposure to that tech. And lastly, let's say you want to do like a hedge against the US economy. Well, you can do something like VXUS. Now, this is the international fund, okay? So this is pretty much investing in top companies that are outside of the US. So that way you can have a slight hedge just in case for some reason the economy in the US is doing a little bad. At least you have a hedge to that, right? So that's just something that you can kind of just sit and forget. Those are 4 great proven funds that you can invest in every single week and get exposure to that. All right, now step 3, you should see an option on there to where it says automate. That's what this is about. We're going to automate this every single week, all right? This is just something that's going to just run on its own, okay? So on payday, I want you to make sure you set it up to where every single payday is transferring $100 from your check if you get paid weekly, or if you get paid bi-weekly, maybe it's transferring $200 over, and so you're doing that twice a month to where you're able to consistently invest that $100 every single week. Now in your app, there should be a place to where you can automatically invest that $25 into each one of those every single week at the same time, right? So now that you've set up to where, hey, the app is pulling $100 each week from your bank account, now you need to set it up to where $25 each week is going into these ETFs. Now, you can switch and choose whichever ETFs. Maybe you want to go a different ETF each week, and that's fine. You would probably have to manually do that yourself. But if you just researched and you just say, hey, I know these 4, or you can do 5. $100 is an easy divide, right? You can do 5 ETFs. You could do 10 ETFs, $10. Either way, whatever you decide. The point is, you can actually go into your app and set it to where, hey, on each Friday or each Monday, no matter what happens, you are automatically going to auto invest that $25, that $20, that $10 into these ETFs. The point is, you want to be making money while you're sleeping. And I know we've all heard that, but this can be an example of that, right? Making money while you're sleeping. It's important to treat your money as if it were small little babies. And in this case, you want your babies to make more babies. And you're planting these seeds to grow and be fruitful, grow trees. These trees can produce more fruit, okay? And you go ahead and you keep the cycle going. That is the most important thing here, the auto invest. So since everything is being automated, all you have to do is just check in once a month. That's it. Don't bother yourself with the day-to-day, the week-to-week. Check in once a month, okay? See how it's doing. Make sure that your money that you're transferring over from your account is actually already being invested, okay? Because it's one thing just to transfer your money, but if it's not automatically being invested, then it's just sitting there and still not doing anything for you, all right? Most important thing we want to make sure we're not doing here is panicking when it drops, okay? So as you've recently heard through these past few months, we've had market horrors, tariffs, things like that. One thing that we cannot do is control the market, right? The market is an emotional place. And if you understand this, and the sooner you understand this, you will be in a better place, right? When people are fearful, you should be greedy. And when people are greedy, you should be fearful, okay? Now, that's words from Warren Buffett. At the end of the day here, what you want to make sure you're doing is setting up consistency, and you're not panicking if you see red, okay? Red, remember, you've done your research on this. You consulted a legal professional on this. So at the end of the day, what you have invested in, you have conviction in. You've done your research. So with that being said, if red is there, that just means that these are great companies that are on sale. And that's how you have to view things, right? Just as you would if you were going to get, a pair of shoes, some Asics, some Nikes, whatever the case is, right? These are great shoes that you enjoy and you just caught them at a discount. Maybe you should buy more, right? So in this case, it's the same way. And as your income grows, so should your weekly contribution. Yeah, you can start off at 100. That doesn't mean that's our end goal. Maybe you increase it to 150. As you're doing well, maybe you increase it to 200. Maybe you increase it to 250. Yo, 250 a week, that's $1,000 a month, which then translates to $12,000 a year, right? We're still not talking about the money that you should already be investing from your 401k that's taken out before you even touch your check, right? It's fantastic. Everything will work together and build up and compound, right? But you have to get started and you have to stay consistent. And most importantly, don't get scared and panic sell. Well, we're at the end here. And what you should be able to see is that sometimes you don't need some big lump sum of money to get invested. This time you can get started with just $100 a week. So all you need is a plan, your $100 a week, your simple ETFs, and automation and consistency. That's it. Set it and forget about it. And let me know in the comments, what's your weekly investing goal right now? I love to discuss all this with you, and everybody can go ahead and push each other to achieve these goals. Okay? If you like videos like these, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. That way you can get notified when more videos like these come about. I'm posting usually twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday. And I try to make sure that I'm giving y'all good consistency on budgeting, investing, and the mindset to be able to do all this. Okay? So until next time, I'm your host, Marcus, and you were here on Zero to Wealth. I'll see you on that next episode. Peace.